All right, folks, this video is for the people that started off like us, may not have place for a shed or money to buy a shed, but wanted to do some woodworking. And the way we got started was in one tiny corner of a garage. And we had a little workbench, and above it we had hand tools, circular saw, etc. Drill, you know what I'm saying, the little jigsaw. And there was enough room as you pulled our car into our garage to have a workbench about this size. Unfortunately, I never got a picture of that little workbench. Had a pegboard, it was real cute. Could keep some can of spray paint, etc. on it. Well, now in this corner we have, we graduated to a portable table saw that fit on a bench, and then we went up to this DeWalt saw that has its own little dolly that goes with it. So it's easy to come in here and turn around, pull this out one-handed onto the deck. And we can set it down. And it's a one-handed thing that gets me. You know, people sometimes say, "Wow, I can't believe you do all that stuff." It's like, well, they ought to say, "Well, I can't believe you do all that stuff one-handed while you're filming." So you can fold the legs out. And I'm sure there's other brands that have similar systems. What I like is this stand is designed to go with this saw. I'm sure Milwaukee or some of these other brands have similar setups. But we like DeWalt. I guess we like the yellow and black. So now that's set up in a matter of, I don't know, a minute or two. We'll come over here and take our cord and knock some of the spiders off. Get it hooked up, and then we'll be ready to go. If we were interested in capturing some of the dust coming off of it, we moved it outside, so we're not too worried about where the dust goes, as opposed to sawing inside of a shed. But if you're concerned about dust and dust containment, which we should be, then you can rig up a little shop vac with these Oneida's Dust Deputy. That's what this piece of gear is on the right there. To the airflow is, so it comes out of the saw through this cyclonic separator. All the big chunks go in the bottom of the barrel, and the mostly cleaned out air goes into the vacuum, which has a HEPA filter. So you're not having to empty out bags, which are expensive, out of your vacuum. And what you end up with in here is, let's see, is that. And all of that has gone into here instead of floating around the air and potentially getting on your other projects or into your lungs. But always the plug for proper safety equipment. You do need still a mask and your safety glasses. And depending on what kind of project you're working on, some gloves. So here's these, we already have them on. And we got the, what we call the cheaters. They have the built-in bifocal. So you can wear these, and if you have, these come in different diopters, different strengths. So like I say, we started off with a little corner, and then we grew up, we added a little roll-around bench. Tool trolley, we call it, that will follow you everywhere. And we liked one so much that we built a second one so we can roll our saw outside. We built these at such a height for up here for the table. Saw table height is, I'll spin you around, the same height as this little fold-up card table here. These are the coolest little tables ever. They fold, legs fold up, and then they fold in half, so they get pretty small. You can hide those about anywhere, or you can stack flotsam and jetsam from projects and work on top of it, to where now you're out of room there, and now you need another workbench to stack things on top of. And now you're out of room there, so now we need another workbench to stack things on top of. This is the issue when you get into multiple projects going on. This Center batch of junk here is for the little Abaco dinghy. You might have spotted it sitting out front there. Cleaning up the wood, getting the seams prepped for putting cotton caulking in it and priming and eventually painting. So sandpaper, etc. is going for that. There's the little ship's wheel project. Still hopefully going to go onto the quarterdeck out there. What is that? That's interesting. And another two projects here that are start-stop. So, but anyway, I know some folks just like looking around at what's going on. Quick look upstairs. We can store lightweight stuff. We don't like lifting really heavy things above our heads, so those lightweight things go up here. Have some planes and some hand tools, towels, shop towels, the ceiling towels we call them. And then down here, this bench will roll outside also. So if you want to make sawdust outside for small projects, you can do that. You put a little vise on the end of it, put a few holes in the top, have your bench dogs, etc. But then you have your tools down here, and they pretty much go back into these spots. And I know there's some people that are like, well, the spot for the tool is wherever I left it last. So that doesn't work in our brain. I know it works in Doug's brain and probably Richard's brain. And then eventually you have one side of your garage filled up with things, and then you can roll into filling up another corner with more drills and hardware and screws and things to fix rope with, and then you find another corner to put fiberglass and batteries and chainsaws and little roll around seats. And then you have a little loft. We don't use lofts much because you got to get on a ladder to get up there, and if whatever you're taking down is heavy, then the fun starts evaporating quickly when you're doing things like that. But if that works for your situation, then that's what works for you. There's Skipper's mower. It doesn't cut much, but it does cut, and she likes falling around. Couple of things we think essential in the shop if you want to build. If you're getting into woodworking, the first thing we'd recommend building is a little step stool like this. You'll use it all the time, either to reach up something high or just to sit on, or set some tools on if you're working outside so you're not having to lay them in the mud, etc. That one's, you can see this one's the, let's see, it's probably built about 2014-ish, so it's been here with us 11 years old. Its name is Waldo. And then there are one of these little garden carts. Are always fun following you around on project. So we're gonna stop goofing around and avoiding making these handrails we're gonna make. We're making some handrails for an Alcort Super Sailfish. We don't know if it's fiberglass or wooden, but the Super Sailfish had a 41-inch long handrail like this with 3 loops. I call it loops, like the loop where you can put your hands or kick your heel against to keep from sliding off the boat. So you climb back on the boat when you fall off, because you will fall off. And we're gonna make these out of some, I think it's only labeled as spruce pine fir, SPF. So it's either spruce or pine or fir. But it's a pretty clear piece. We paid for a Select Lumber. It doesn't have it doesn't have any knots, either tight or loose. And it's gonna do the job just fine as long as I put a good sealer coat of varnish or paint onto it. It's going to have enough bend, because when you put these handrails on, they're not straight. They have kind of a slight curve to follow the curve of the deck. So this, whatever wood you use, needs to be able to bend a little bit. And most people dealing with these little boats, the little I'll call them not amateur, but the little home boaters with not a ton of experience and not a ton of tools, aren't going to want to get into steaming a piece of wood to get it on. I guess you could put some water in your tub and soak it for a week and hang it on your fence if you lived in Florida and let the sun bake it and put a little bend in it. But the easier thing might be to just get a piece of pine, because it's plenty strong to hold up to what it's going to be used for. I mean, you know, for example, the deck I'm standing on right now is pine, so it's this is going to be just dandy. So the first thing we'll do to get going on this is get our gear on, and we're going to lay this on here and cut a blank. You set that and move the fence over. Let's see, which way is this got to go up? Gonna set that there. Unlock this. Is it locked? Unlocked. So we're gonna find the width. Unlock this back. We'll take that piece off. That's our pattern. We'll come over and we're gonna lay this board on there and cut strips of it so we have extras. We gotta make a total of 4 today. I already have 2 made, so I need to make 2 more. So I'll pull this out. And this is our pattern taken off an original handrail. And I even wrote out the steps of what to do when. So if you need some handrails, they don't have to be just for a sailfish. If you need handrails for your project and we have a few varieties. We'll just drop a note in the comments and we'll get you in touch with us, and we can make them for you in all kinds of lengths and most thicknesses. So we're going to get to work instead of goofing around talking to the camera. That'll do it.